Hey guys, welcome back to Benzo. Today we're gonna go over a super useful tool for business paper 2, which is called the Ansoff matrix. The Ansoff matrix is looking at what types of growth a business can pursue. So, it can pursue a type of growth that a business can pursue is investing more money into making more products and to their existing market. So it will be product existing, market also existing. That would be a type of growth, right? Many companies use that. But let's say that I have a pizza truck business, okay? And this pizza truck is super well established. Everyone knows its products, but everyone knows its products in London, let's say. But let's say that I want to move to a different city. So now I'm going to go to a new market, but I will only offer my existing product. I'm not going to create a different type of pizza, right? So this here, the existing markets to existing products, is the most common type of growth, which we call market penetration. So what is the goal of this? Let's say that I also have a competitor for my pizza truck. This is my pizza truck, and there's another pizza truck that has a lot of customers. And I want to expand my market share, which is how much my business have of the total market of pizzas in the area. Let's say that I only have 20% and I want to increase 30% of my market share. So I want to sell 30% of the pizzas in the region. So I'm going to invest money in market penetration. So I'm not going to create anything new, but I'm going to invest my objective is to grow towards having more market share. So we can say that market penetration compared to all the other types of growth, because let's say when I have a new market and then my still existing product, I don't know if it's going to be successful, right? For example, let's say that we have Target, this huge, like one of the most common retail stores in the US. Did you know that Target had to close 130 stores in Canada because it lacked some, I don't know the whole story, but it lacked some cultural awareness, or it didn't fit the culture of Canada. So although they had a good product, like an existing product, you also can fail in new markets. So we say that it is market development. But for example, it has been super successful in a bunch of companies, right? So it goes back to this of the Ansoff matrix analyzes the path of growth, and every path of growth is different for every business, but it is also dependent on whether the business wants to pursue product growth or market growth. So market development would be like a medium risk strategy, and here will be a low risk strategy. Now, if I have a new product but the existing market, so I'm with my pizza truck, so let's say I have my pizza truck, it's well established. Oh my god, it's well established in London, but I wanna come with a pineapple pizza. I wanna make a pineapple pizza. I wanna see if that's going to sell well. Now I'm creating a different product. So we call this a product development. For example, it has a lot of benefits if this product becomes well established. It can create a lot of sales revenue. It can also attract different customers. So increase in sales, increase in customers, right? If my customers didn't like my traditional Italian pizzas, they can try to get the pineapple pizzas. And also, this is also interesting because not necessarily are customers going to like disregard my company because I'm innovating. They will still buy what they like. They will still buy the pizza that they like. I still have it. So a product development is a medium risk also. Why is it a medium risk? Well, for example, you're investing money into creating that pineapple pizza. You have to talk to suppliers. It can be sort of expensive at the beginning, right? Because you don't know if you're gonna have return on that. So everything has a type of risk. So the pineapple pizza can be sort of useful because I'm trying to expand my market share. I'm also trying to expand my sales in that region. So this will be for new and existing. How I like to remember, if it's going to be new market and existing product, it's going to start with market. And it's going to be new product and existing market will start with product. And then it's just market development, product development. Now, the highest risk, you're gonna create a new product and you're gonna send it out to a new market. So imagine, instead of creating a pizza for the people that live in London, I'm gonna create a pizza for those that live in the nearby city, and I don't know what they like, so I have to invest money in market research to find out what they like. This is called diversification, which is a high risk strategy, right? High risk. So high risk, it's a high risk growth strategies. For example, you're trying to capture a new market share, a new market. This can be useful, but how much money are you going to have? Do you need to invest to know what the customers like, what types of pizza? Are you going to have to hire a company to do that market research? That can be expensive. What about the product, the research and development of the products that's going to go to this region, right? So there's a lot of limitations. I would say it's a high risk growth strategy because there's more limitations than advantages. Because the advantages here will be the same here, sales, more customer, which I can do with product development. I can do with market development. I can do with market penetration to some extent, right? So the goals of business is to have more sales, more customers. And yeah, so Ansoff Matrix talks about that. So some guiding questions that we can use for our discussion now. Who would use this type of tool in the business? Would you say that it's a manager, or would you say it's a CEO trying to know what's the growth strategy that a company can use? I would say it's more of the product manager, like the person that manages those things. Because if we're talking about making a new product, we're talking about who's the research team involved on that. So this tool is really useful for when managers are going to evaluate the types of growth that they're thinking about. Let's say, going back to my pizza truck, would it be beneficial for my company to invest money into training employees, gathering the knowledge of how to making the pineapple pizza, or should I just keep with my existing product and my existing market and investing more money in marketing, for example? So now instead of going to product development, I see that there's more benefits to go to the market penetration. There are more benefits, there are more upsides, right? So that's the type of discussion that you could use in a paper 2 in a 10 marker. You could say, if company chooses option A or option B, the company could pursue market penetration because they're dealing with a consumer base that they're already aware, so they would not need to invest into market research. Also, let's say that they're a competitor that is trying to get also part of part of my pizza truck market share. So by investing to market penetration, I can assure that I could provide the best pizza and with the best prices, with the best ingredients, rather than trying to invest into a new product that I don't know if that would work, and that could put me at a disadvantage if that would not work, right? So we could go over a paper 210 marker on how useful would it be to use an Ansoff matrix. So now the second question: what is the advantage of market penetration, right? So whenever you're thinking about using the Ansoff matrix in a 10 marker, you're talking, oh, okay, what is the advantage of using this type of growth, of any type of growth, right? Let's say that the company wants to pursue diversification for some reason. What is the benefit? For everything, there's a benefit. And then you're gonna to write down, but then what the examiners want you to think, what are the limitations of your argument? Well, of course, diversification can lead to a market share, like a consumer base that might really enjoy my pizza. But what are the limitations? How long do you need to invest money into marketing and into making sure that the products are high quality until you get that market share? So you're talking about the advantages and limitations. Like you say, oh, a paragraph like this is my advantages. Another paragraph is talking about the disadvantages of the type of growth, and then the limitations of even the Ansoff matrix. Because the Ansoff matrix is putting into a discrete table. Either you do market penetration or market development, or product development, or diversification, or market penetration. You either do this or that. But of course, a company can do both, right? But you usually want to do one so you can be focused. You can have like a goal, a specific goal for that, right? So whenever you do something, you talk about who would use this type of tool, what is the advantage of this type of growth, and what is the advantage and disadvantage of this tool. So, and also, what is the advantage and disadvantage of this tool in regards to the stimulus material. This is crucial. Does the stimulus material do they tell every info that we need in order that we can be aware of what is, if they want to pursue a different market? Does the stimulus talk about how much they should invest into marketing? For example, my pizza truck can't invest $1,000 per week in marketing to attract new customers. That's too much. Does the stimulus provide that information? If they don't, that's something that I would need to put in my 10 marker. That gives me the 8, the 9, and the 10. Talking about the limitations of the stimulus material whenever I'm applying information that it's like forecasted that I don't know, but I'm making assumptions. The examiners love when you're talking about your assumptions, like what information I don't have about this. So this is something really important. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and